CNN has obtained the single leaked document that flipped the entire congressional vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act in less than 36 hours. A 28-page classified political exposure appendix, prepared by the CIA's Office of Congressional Affairs on November 19, 2023, and accidentally transmitted unredacted to the personal Proton Mail account of a mid-level Senate Intelligence Committee staffer. The appendix was attached to a routine cover memo requesting senators withhold support for the unsealing rider, but the attachment contained the actual list everyone in Washington had been desperate to keep secret. Page 7 through 19 consist of a color-coded table titled, U.S. Persons with Confirmed Presence on Little St. James Island, 1999-2019, Clearance Status and Current Position. The list is divided into 4 risk tiers. Tier Red, Immediate Resignation Risk, contains 41 names, including 3 sitting U.S. senators, 1 former Senate Majority Leader still active in leadership PACs, 2 federal appeals court judges confirmed after 2016, 1 current cabinet secretary, and 7 billionaires who have donated more than $10 million combined to congressional super PACs since 2020. Tier Orange lists 68 additional individuals with flight log corroboration, but no video confirmation yet. Tier Yellow contains 114 names with only circumstantial connections. The document was never meant to leave Langley. It was watermarked No Foreign, or Con, Eyes Only, and carried handling instructions that it be viewed only inside the Senate SIF. Yet at 2:14 a.m. on December 10, 2023, the staffer opened the attachment on an unsecured laptop in his Capitol Hill apartment because the SIF was closed for weekend maintenance. Within minutes, he took photographs of every page with his phone and transmitted them to 3 trusted reporters, understanding instantly that the intelligence community had just handed Congress the perfect reason to vote yes instead of no. By sunrise December 11th, the photos were circulating in encrypted form among every member of the Senate and House Judiciary Committees. Multiple senators told CNN the moment they saw their own colleagues on the Tier Red list. Any remaining hesitation about supporting the Transparency Amendment evaporated. One Democratic senator from a safe blue state described it as the fastest 180 in legislative history. Suddenly, the people who were most at risk became the loudest cheering section for full disclosure because they knew silence would look like complicity. The White House learned of the breach at 9:03 a.m. when Chief of Staff Jeff Zients received an urgent call from CIA Director William Burns. According to 4 sources briefed on the conversation, Burns informed Zients that the exposure appendix contained the most sensitive political intelligence product we have generated in decades, and requested immediate emergency classification of the entire legislative process under a never-before-used provision of the 1980 Classified Information Procedures Act Annex. Zients refused, telling Burns the horse was already out of the barn and that any attempt at containment now would trigger an open revolt on the floor. By noon, the Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman and Vice Chairman jointly summoned Burns and DNI Avril Haines to a closed session that quickly turned hostile. Transcripts reviewed by CNN show Senator Mark Warner demanding to know why the CIA was maintaining active dossiers on sitting members of Congress without notifying the Gang of 8. Marco Rubio is recorded saying, "You just handed us the mother of all conflict of interest disclosures and expected us to keep helping you hide it." Burns reportedly responded that the list was compiled solely for defensive briefing purposes and was never intended as blackmail material, a claim multiple senators openly laughed at. At 3:27 p.m., the decision was made inside leadership offices to accelerate the vote rather than delay it. Staffers were instructed to strip every poison pill amendment that had been quietly inserted to gut the transparency rider. The original plan had been to let the provision die in conference committee. Instead, the House and Senate parliamentarians were told to fast-track a clean version to the floor no later than December 14th. CNN has confirmed that at least 9 senators who had privately committed to vote no flipped publicly within 6 hours of seeing their own names or the names of major donors in the leaked appendix. The intelligence community's final attempt at damage control came at 7:45 p.m., when the Office of the Director of National Intelligence issued a rare public statement, warning that passage of the unsealing mandate may result in the irrevocable compromise of human sources and methods critical to national security. The statement backfired spectacularly. Within minutes, members began reading portions of the leaked appendix into the sealed congressional record, making it impossible for the executive branch to claim further classification protection. The vote itself on December 14th became a historic rout. The final tally in the Senate was 97-1, with 2 abstentions, and in the House 429-4. Multiple members openly referenced the leaked CIA document on the floor without naming specific individuals, citing recently disclosed intelligence community overreach as the reason they could no longer in good conscience oppose transparency. The single no vote in the Senate came from a member whose name appears in tier orange and who left the chamber immediately after casting it. Within hours of passage, the Justice Department quietly informed Judge Preska that it would no longer contest any scheduled unsealing dates, a reversal from its previous position of seeking indefinite stays. Sources inside Maine Justice say the leaked appendix destroyed any remaining leverage the executive branch had over Congress. Once lawmakers realized the intelligence community had been protecting some of their own, the political calculus flipped from suppression to self-preservation through full disclosure. Tonight, the original leaked photographs remain in the possession of multiple news organizations under encryption, with publication agreements that they will go live the moment any federal entity attempts retroactive classification or seizure. The CIA has opened an internal damages investigation expected to last years, and multiple sources tell CNN that Director Burns personally offered his resignation to the White House on December 15th, an offer that was declined only because removing him mid-crisis would signal even greater panic. What began as a routine attempt to lobby against a transparency bill ended up becoming the very catalyst that guaranteed its overwhelming passage. One senior Senate staffer summed it up to CNN with a single sentence. "They tried to scare us into silence with a list, so we published the list in the only way we still could, by making the entire bill veto-proof." The Epstein files are now on an irreversible path to full public release, and the intelligence community has no one to blame but itself.